Hello! Over the summer, I had an internship with Levine IP, or intellectual property firm, based in Los Angeles. I also partnered with Tetrad Studios, which is a partnering company that works in production and development of film and television programs. During the summer, a few of the things that I worked on were creating coverages, which are short descriptions of a piece. So I would read a screenplay and then write a summary, essentially, of the piece, highlighting the key points as it relates to production and development. Generally, this includes major plot points, expensive stunts or tricks that would have to be pulled on, if it's an animated film or an animated TV show, to describe that and what the animation is like, to give a sense of cost associated with that project. And after my summary, I would then give it a rating in a few sections. And those sections were characterization, storyline, dialogue, and writer's potential. And after I had completed the summary and rated the story in those 4 categories, I would then provide some comments on things that worked, if the film has potential to provide a return on investment, as well as how likely the film or the TV show is to benefit from star power, or having a well-known star in the film. In addition to writing coverages, I created decks or slideshows that show an investor or someone who has interest in the project essentially what the project is about. Usually this sets the mood, kind of gives the tone of the film, and is a very quick and easy way for people to understand what the film is about and what the finished product is likely to look like. The 2 supervisors that I worked with every day was Alex Tamayan and Sam Levine. Sam Levine is an alum from WNL who went here for a few years before transferring to NYU and completing his degree there. Going into the summer, they challenged me to bring a project that I was working on personally to the table, that they would help me develop and help me work on. At the time, I was really focusing on my YouTube channel, and so I asked them for tips and tricks and pieces of advice on how I could make my YouTube channel better, how I could gain more of a following, and they provided tremendous insight into not just YouTube, but all social media. And since then, I've picked up several social media textbooks and have begun working for Project Horizon as their social media person, if you will. Another project I was fortunate enough to work on with them was the documentary Intimate Violence. I started this project last summer, the summer of 2019, with Professor Sandberg and Professor Sean Paul Evans at WNL. While during the summer, we were focused on editing, creating animation, forming the storyline, and eventual composition of music for the project. Sam and Alex were both tremendous assets in the development and the progress on this project. About halfway through the summer, I was able to send them a picture lock file, and they provided me insights on what worked, what didn't work, and major revisions that needed to be made within the movie to make it profitable, to make it shareable, to make it worth watching. Going into this project, going into the summer internship, my expectation was to be on set of some kind, working on a film. Unfortunately, because of the United States government's mishandling and ultimate lack of prevention of the spread of COVID-19, I was unable to do that. So instead, I stayed here in Lexington and worked on the projects all summer long. They would send me scripts, I would work on them, write coverages, create slide decks, and send them back to them. And they would provide feedback on what I was doing well, things I could improve upon, and what to keep in mind for the next project that I worked on. This summer internship was absolutely worth the time, effort, and energy that I put into it. Taking my experience and knowledge that I'd gained in the screenwriting course in spring term of last year, and combining it with some of the synthesis that Alex and Sam both provided me, and contextualizing a lot of the textbook knowledge with real-world examples of how plot, character, dialogue all manifest themselves in profitable TV and movie productions, was a tremendous revelation in my own mind. I took all of these lessons that were very abstract and that I had learned through our readings and through our discussions in screenwriting, and was able to apply them and converse with Alex and Sam about the textbooks that we had read. And that level of communication really increased the information and the knowledge that they were able to share with me, and I was able to ultimately take with me. I would wholeheartedly recommend this internship to others who are interested in the field, in the film and TV industry, in production, and in development. One recommendation that I would give to those who are interested in this internship is be sure to have taken either a script analysis or a screenwriting course ahead of time. The screenwriting course was invaluable within this project and within the summer internship. It provided a base level of knowledge that we could communicate with and provided a fundamental understanding of aspects of the field that are crucial to production and development. This summer internship really got me thinking about how the abstract and artful things correlated and created a return on investment for investors in film and TV productions, as well as those involved in the project. It was a fantastic opportunity to really synthesize the knowledge that I'd gained in the classroom with the real-world experiences and expectations of the film and TV industry during a global pandemic. From the jump, we understood that it would be very different this year, this summer. The internship would be unlike anything that any of us could have expected. But through this process, I learned about social media and how to develop my own Instagram and YouTube to best spread my work and to gain the most recognition for me personally, as well as what aspects of a film are important and how do you effectively advertise and pitch a film to investors or to producers in order to get it worked on. One of the most valuable lessons that Sam impressed upon me from the very beginning is that if you are going to be a director, then you have to direct. Since then, I've come to understand what exactly that means. My interpretation of that is if I want to be a director, then I have to surround myself with designers, with a crew, and with a cast who all know what they're doing, so that I'm not constantly trying to cover up for them to make sure everything gets done on their part, but rather give them permission and give them the empowerment to do their work on their own and take the role of a true director, which is removed from their jobs, still providing oversight and a general sense of leadership and direction, but from that removed perspective. In my early conversations with Sam, I was able to get valuable insight on how I could improve my YouTube videos. One of the tips that he gave me was to start including a 1-minute, very cinematic sequence of footage that I captured in each YouTube video. What he said was, every time I go out to take pictures, make sure I'm also taking video, taking footage that I compile into a very cinematic and moving sequence and that I can send to potential clients or people who are interested in hiring me for their work. After he told me that, I made sure that every YouTube video from then on had at least 1 minute of that cinematic movement, that cinematic footage incorporated in there as a portfolio piece of sorts. This internship has taught me so much in terms of what is important for a film and what aspects, what are the bare bones that are needed to create a quality film. Although I didn't get to work in production as I was hoping, I learned crucial lessons in development and creation of scripts and script development on what good projects look like, what bad projects look like, and how to change mediocre projects into great projects. Despite the rather unforeseen and unprecedented state of the world this past spring and summer, I am very thankful to have had the opportunity to participate in this internship, albeit virtually, in the capacity that I did. So many of my friends had great internships lined up, and so many of them had their internships either postponed until next summer or canceled outright. I'm incredibly thankful to have gained the insightful knowledge and the crucial lessons on development, script, and even production this summer through my relationship with Sam and Alex.